Late last month, General Motors workers received notice of their profit-sharing checks, and although the checks are in the in the $10,000 range, they are still smaller than in recent years. Joining us now here on First at 4 Focus for a look at some practical ways to either save, spend, or invest that money is Chris Nemes, a partner with Nemes Rush Family Wealth Management. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Now, if someone is sitting on one of those profit sharing checks or are due to get one of those profit sharing checks, should they be considering today?
Yeah, well, the first thing you need to consider is if you have any high interest rate debt. So that would be, the classic example is a credit card. A lot of those are at 30%. So you can't, if you invest the money, you're hoping for an 8 or 10% return a year, right? But if you can use that, all of those $10,000, let's say you have $10,000 of credit card debt, if you can get rid of a 30% loan, that's much better. So I focus first on paying down any high interest rate. When I say high, I mean about 6% and above. Any of that debt, so car notes, credit cards, things like that. And that's if you don't have, if you need a cash, an emergency fund, I do that as well. But yeah, first let's go for the debt, and then if you have anything left over, you should invest it for the long run.
And I understand there is different advice for younger workers than the older workers. So if you're a younger worker, can you forego maybe paying down the debt and just investing it all? Or what would you advise a younger worker to do?
Well, if they have that credit card debt, I'd still pay that off. But in terms of investing the money, if you invest, say $10,000, what the bonus check is, let's say it was that amount every year. If you invested that for 30 years, 10,000 a year, and the market returns 7%, which is a fair estimate, you'd end up with over $1 million at the end of that 30 years. So it's really important to get saving quickly if you can and not overload yourself with debt, because that debt, you're going to have to pay it off at some point, right? So let's get that out of the way. But if you can save, and also save in the 401k, because you get a match, and free money is the best type of money. So let's get that match. And if you can save some of that, that $10,000 extra a year, saving even 5,000 of that's going to make a huge difference down the line, because any money that you save now is magnified 30 years down the line. So if you start 5 years earlier than you think you should, you're going to be really happy in the future.
And it's not just the bonus checks, but people will start receiving their income tax returns as well. So based on our current economy, how would you advise people to invest? What are wise investments? Roth accounts still a great way to go?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Roth accounts are great. And those exist. That bucket, that type of account exists in your 401k, and it exists as a Roth IRA outside, like you mentioned. So yeah, Roth money is great because when you put that money in there, when you contribute that sum, it grows tax free indefinitely. And then when you take it out, it's also tax free. So there's not really many things better than that. The only thing comparable would be like an HSA, right? Which is a similar vehicle, but just for your health savings. So yeah, I would say focus on those 401ks. Roth is great. If you have space in a Roth IRA, if you have money left over, I'd put it in the Roth IRA. And after that, there are regular IRAs as well, but a brokerage account to catch any excess. So it's kind of a waterfall on down from your 401k, because you get that match, that free money, like I talked about. Then if you have space in the IRA section, do that, and then your taxable brokerage account as well.
And lastly, the thing that most people think about when they get a lump sum of money is maybe making a big purchase. What's your opinion on that, making a big purchase?
Well, I think you know what I'm going to say about that, but I would say it's okay to treat yourself. A new pair of shoes, new piece of jewelry, nothing crazy. $1,000. I mean, you worked all year for the money, right? You earned it. But what people do is, unfortunately, they'll view that $10,000 check as free money. They'll view it as house money. So they'll get the check and say, well, that's different from my normal salary. It's not. It's your money. You earned it, so you should save it. If you're a person, who needs to be saving more for retirement, that $10,000 check isn't just, manna from heaven. That needs to be put toward a goal. So it's very tantalizing to want to buy something expensive, or upgrade some part of your life in some way. But you have to be smart about it, because first, it's getting taxed. And second, if you have debt or anything like that, you need to take care of that first.
Yeah, so what I heard you say there is balance. Everything and, balance.
Yeah, you can still treat yourself.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Chris Nemes, a partner with Nemes Rush Family Wealth Management. Thanks so much for joining us here today on First at 4. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.